Hello, how are you? I just wanted to hop on here and talk about being a mom. I have a couple things that I need to do, so I figure I'll like grab those things and do them while I'm chit chatting away. So, being a mom is really hard. How are you, by the way? I hope you're doing really good. Um, Being a mom is really hard because you're kind of expected to just like do it all by yourself. And if you ask for help, you're like weak. And if you don't ask for help, then you're like a hardo, or you like are refusing help. So it's like either way, it's like what life as a woman is basically. It's like either way, people look at you funny. Um, so yeah, when people like offer to help me, I'm always like, did they have an ulterior motive? Are they trying to like take my kids away? Are they, why are they doing this? Like what's the angle here? Um, and it's weird of me to think that, but just like if you're a girl, I think you kind of know how like most women can be. They'll act like they like you, and then you'll find out later that they don't. So it's just like, wait, what? At least for me, when I was younger, I just like had friends and was nice, and I didn't really like think twice about it. I was just like, okay, cool. I like you, you like me, we're good. And you know, getting betrayed a few times by friends just kind of makes you way more skeptical, I guess. And like just wondering, like, you know, if people have an angle, maybe they want something you have and they're like not trying to be forthcoming about that. Like, I don't fucking know. And then when you're just constantly working, and as a mom, you know, especially if you have a guy that's like, oh, this isn't a job, you're just sitting at home all the time. It's like, yes, I am at home, but you know, it's like the same thing as if you were just like if you were at work 7 days a week and you slept there and you bathed there and you ate there and you did everything at the place that you worked, it would kind of like push you into this weird place. And I think that's totally normal and pretty valid. So I think the only people that like can understand how hard that can be are like farmers or you know, people that live like on islands, because everything's just all on site and you kind of just like you don't have anywhere else to go, you know. So yeah, this last year has without a doubt been like the hardest year of my life. um I had twins, and um I'm pretty sure I like died on the table and they brought me back, because everyone was like really weird with me when I woke up, and I was like, huh, why is everybody being so nice to me? This is unusual. Because for the last year or so, um, you know, living in Tennessee, everywhere I went, everyone was just kind of an asshole to me for no reason. I'd be like, hi, how's it going? And people would just like give me this shitty face, and like, I'm sorry, did I, do I stink? Like, should I not wear sandals? Like, what did I do wrong? Like, I'm just like trying to run to the gym really quick or to do this or that, and I have not done a whole lot since my kids were born. So it's really hard. You know, you go from having all this independence, and you can pretty much go anywhere at any time, and you know, like, it's no problem to you know, your kids count on you for their survival, and everything you do has to go towards like being productive. There's not like a whole lot of time in your day to do like frivolous activities like walking around Target just for fun, or you know, taking a nap. Um, so most of your day is around like taking care of other people. And as a woman, you like basically do that anyway. But when you have kids, it like turns it up to like an extreme level. Especially if you live like, you know, a good distance from your family. I know most people in the area that I live have no problem calling up their mom or their husband's mom and being like, hey, can you come over and help me? You know, I'm really tired, I'm this or that. And I just wouldn't dream of calling my mom and saying like, hey mom, can you come over and help me? Because my mom has a really hard job. She's like busy. She's just been working. This is the first time in her life that she's like just had like, you know, one job, maybe two jobs, but she's always had like three or four. She's always had a paper route. She's always had like a class of some kind that she was taking in addition to teaching school. Like she's just stayed really busy. So I have made it a point to just like do not ask my mom for anything when she has free time. That's her time. Leave her alone, figure it out. You know, unless it's like an emergency or something, yeah, then call her. So, because I respect my mom, and I think a lot of people just like assume or think that their mom has nothing better to do. Like most guys think that way about women, like, oh, you're just at home, and it's like, well, yes and no. And I think it's really easy for most guys, especially some women, if like they are with a guy that earns more money. Yeah, they do order takeout, and they do, like, they'll pay for a maid or a housekeeping service. But like, I understand both sides a lot better now, because even if you do pay for a housekeeping service, they come like, you know, like once a month or maybe once a week. If you're like if you just had a baby and you're like, oh god, this sucks, I'm not doing it. But you still like pre-clean before they come, and yeah, like you don't just like ever let anybody like completely help you. At least if you're me. I know there's some women out there that have no problem being like, oh my god, hon, I can't do this, I need help. And I don't, this video isn't like for those women necessarily. I'm a working class person, and most of the people that I know are working class people. I've known plenty of rich people who spend their husband's money, and you know, and then they get divorced, and then they're in the same situation that I'm describing, and then they're like, this sucks. Oh, it's someone else's fault. It's you did this, you did that. Like, no, bro, you did this. If you had like been grateful or appreciative of your husband, then you would be fine. And I can relate to that a lot, because you know, you got more bees with honey, right? But when you're in an exhausted mood and all you want is just to like take a nap, but you have to do laundry and you have to make dinner and you just like have to keep going, it's really tough. It's tougher than, you know, it's tougher than I ever realized, especially as a kid, trying to like get my mom to just like go take a nap. I was like, Mom, like just go take a nap, you look really tired, go sleep. And she would always be like, no, I can't, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and I'll sleep at night when everyone goes to bed, but right now I have to get this done. And I always just thought, like, oh, you're being too hard on yourself, because most of the kids that I grew up with, their moms were like napping all the time. Anytime, you know, because I often would stay after school. I always had like some club I was going to, or I had rehearsal. You know, I had something to do after school, so I would watch most of the kids get picked up, and their moms would show up, you know, with their like sleep masks still on and in their robes, just like, you know, living this total bum life. And I was like, ew, I've never seen my mom in a robe. Like, what? Your mom just picks you up like that and then you go into the store? Oh my god, aren't you embarrassed? And because I think my mom had a robe, but she didn't like just like wear it out around the house. When my mom left her room, she was dressed. She was ready to go. Her hair was done, makeup was done, she had her outfit on. That was it. When she would come home and go to bed, she'd come and chit chat and then be like, okay, I'm going in my room. Please don't bother me unless it's an emergency, unless there's a fire or an earthquake or something like that. And she meant it. So I didn't go in her room. Or, you know, unless someone's choking. That was what my mom always said. Ha ha. I always thought that was funny. Excuse me. So yeah, it's just so different. I've always just really respected my mom. And I think most people really don't. They just assume that, like, oh, hey, I can bother my mom at any time because she doesn't have anything else to do. And that comes with the territory of moms, like, sleeping a lot and not cleaning up and just, like, having a messy house. Of course the kids are like, what the fuck? Like, what were you doing? Oh. Especially when your kids get, like, bigger and older, they're more independent. They don't need you every second of every day. Now my kids are like a year old, you know, my youngest ones. So I do have a little bit more time. I'm not getting up all night every night and taking care of them and bottle feeding a little kitten. So it's like helping me remember, like, oh wow, I've really come a long way. And it's nice. It's greatly appreciated. Is it still hard? Absolutely. I've been sick like every week of the last month. I have like a pretty bad sinus infection. All I drink is like coffee, so it's definitely fucking up my teeth. I have a ton of bills. Thankfully, my place is really small, so I can afford my bills. But like, for example, my ex, he got a big house and he likes to run the air conditioning all the time and leave lights on and stuff, so his bills are a lot more. I've wanted to get my brother to move in with him, and my brother is, I think, pretty hesitant because this last year of the twins being born has been so, it's been so hectic, it's been so chaotic. It's so hard. It's hard to have one baby, but it's like manageable. Having two babies at the same time, and I mean, to even think of having triplets, I'm like, oh my god, these kids have run me ragged. You just have to have somebody come over and help you. Like, you can basically, at least for me, I have my older daughter and then my twins. Taking care of the three of them is pretty manageable. But, you know, like if I had, you know, triplets or quadruplets or like more kids at one time, it would have just been like, you have to get help from your husband, from anyone, from your boyfriend, whoever it is. And then, yeah, so that brings me to my next point. Like, it's crazy to have kids with someone and then have them just feel like, yeah, I'm gonna go be with someone else. And it's like, okay, fine, then go. I had your kids. I'm fucking fat now. I have all these like cavities in my teeth, which is so common. I had customers tell me that like 10 years ago, like, if you have kids back to back, or say you have twins or triplets or whatever, that it wreaks havoc on your teeth, and you have to just like take care of it, otherwise it'll get a lot worse. So I've known that, and you know, my ex has not made me a priority. He still expects me to like make him a priority, and it's very challenging for me because if someone asks me to do something, I'll do it. You know, I mean, it's just how I was raised. If I'm able to do it, most of the time I am, I'll say yes. And then the challenging thing, if you're dealing with someone that's really spoiled, when you say no, they like kind of freak out and they go, well, why? Yes, you can. And so yeah, it's just been easier for me to just do it all, which inevitably has led to me realizing like, okay, I'll just live by myself. I'll have my own place. I'll get a job. I'll save some money. I'll pay my bills and take care of the stuff I need. And, you know, go from there. So, I don't know really what the point of this is. Because, like, you can't have kids by yourself. I mean, you can. I guess technically you can get, like, a sperm donor and not have the guy be involved anyway, but like most guys aren't really that involved in the first place that I know of. And granted, like on the West Coast, it's like way more common for guys to just like take an active role in their kids' lives. And I don't get out much, right? But when I do tend to see a lot of fathers out with their sons. And I see fathers out with their teenage daughters, but like when their kids are little, I don't know. I've seen a lot of changes in the last year, so it's really hard for me to think back to like when I first moved here, and then seeing like nannies out with the kids and the moms like at Pilates or whatever. I was just like, don't you want to spend time with your kids when they're little? Like, I don't get it. But I also really, really wanted to have kids. Like, I'd had a lot of miscarriages and had a lot of trials and tribulations to get to the point where I was like able to carry a pregnancy to term. So I was like, I am not letting this baby out of my sight. I'm spending every second with her. And I still feel that way about my kids. But when you have 3 kids, you have 3 times the laundry, 3 times the food, you know, and you have to reset after you do everything. And especially what I've learned after working with like younger guys anyway, is that they're used to like doing half the work and someone coming along and like doing the cleanup. They'll do like the middle part of the work, which is like the task itself, but someone else will set it up for them and someone else will break it down for them. So they just have to do like the thing itself and then like, okay, gotta go. And as a woman, I'm used to doing like all of that by myself. And maybe guys are looking at me like, you're a crazy woman, like that's what it's like to be a man. And maybe it is. But men and guys, totally different creatures. You know, it's like the whole argument for years people have said, like, you know, boys will be boys and boys are totally different creatures than men. I think there's like definitely 3 tiers to guys, maybe 4. You have boys, you have dudes, you have guys, you have men. And some of those terms can be interchangeable for sure, but boys are just interested in like hanging with their friends. You know, dudes are just interested in like their job and their hobbies. Guys are like learning how to be more thoughtful and considerate, but they're like not necessarily very good at it. And men have a balance of all of those things. Men like to play with their friends, so they go out and they do a fun activity with their friends like once a month. And the rest of the time they're like working on their car, helping their wife around the house, which is, at least in my experience, in my own life, you know, having a dad. My dad was always cleaning the windows and cleaning the cars and, you know, prepping dinner. You know, he was really good at stuff like that. He would get everything ready so that my mom could just show up and, like, put it in the oven or reheat it. He would, like, par bake it and then, like, have it ready for her to go so that my mom could just make us dessert. Like pudding or jello or cookies or whatever it was that we wanted. Because, yeah, my mom always likes to say, like, oh, I don't remember your dad doing anything. And I'm like, as a mom, I think it is really hard because it all just blurs together. But I don't want to, like, dunk on my dad to lift up my mom. They both played their role. And that's what my dad would tell her all the time. He'd say, I'm the president, you're the vice president. You can veto me, and I can veto you. But ultimately, I'm the leader, and you are the supporting role. And that always bothered my mom, you know, and I can understand why, because everyone wants to be president of their own house, especially if you're getting vetoed all the time. And when you try to veto, they're like, no, we're doing it anyway. It's like, what, bro? But yeah, and maybe I'm remembering things wrong. Maybe I'm just like pulling shit out of my ass. But from what I remember about my parents, that's why I've kind of struggled in seeing other relationships. I'm like, why aren't you guys like splitting chores? Was my dad great at cleaning? No. Did my mom probably have to come behind and fix what he didn't do right? More likely than not, yeah. That's just like kind of the reality of working with guys. They're not going to do everything to your standard. They're their own person. They were raised with a mother who probably was happy that they were doing anything around the house. So they were just like, oh my God, that's so great. Thank you, son. And that's the attitude that you kind of have to have when you're working. When you're working with guys, you have to be like, oh, that's so cool. Thank you. Because if you're like nitpicking, they're never going to try to do it again. They're going to be like, oh shit, I don't want to lecture because I tried to do something nice for you. Fuck you. Leave me the fuck alone. So I get it. I realized I made a lot of those same mistakes myself. And it's so easy to do it when you're tired because like the littlest things irritate you and set you off. You have to be so patient throughout the day with your kids. You can get mad at them for making stupid mistakes, but you don't because they're kids. And it's the same kind of thing. You're like, okay, they don't know better. A guy does know better. You've talked to your male partner or your boyfriend or whatever you fucking want to call him probably 200 times about certain different stuff. And most of the time, they're just like not really paying attention because they're like looking at their phone or not like fully engaged in like doing the task because they don't want to do it. And I don't really like to do laundry, right? I mean, I don't really know anybody that does, but I do like having clean clothes. So that's the trade-off. I like clothes that smell good and that they don't have stains on them. So that requires me having to spot treat everything and having to look at everything. You can't just like take it all and shove it in the wash, pour some soap on it and expect it to like be squeaky clean when you're done. No, you have to look at everything individually. You have to take an extra 10-15 minutes and look at everything, spray it, use your Zote soap. Like, it's not hard. It just is a couple extra steps rather than like it being one step of like taking the laundry, putting it in, pushing the button, and walking away. And I think most problems with guys can be like, summarized similarly. Guys are just like, fuck, this is stupid. This is women's work. I don't want to fucking do it. It's like, well, if you ruin the clothes by washing it with stains on it, like the stain's going to set in and you're going to have to replace the clothes. That's going to cost you more money. Do you really like, you should care about it. It's not just my job to keep your clothes looking nice. They're your clothes. So, yeah. Anyway, it's really hard dropping my kids off at daycare. It's hard to get them up and out the door and fed and watered and all of that. It's like it's all tough. I'm like, oh, this sucks. I wish I could just do it all myself. And like most days I do find a really good rhythm when they're all here. I get them fed, they have breakfast, they play, they have a bottle, they take a nap. I get a couple hours to play outside with my daughter. And then they wake up, we do that same routine again, and we repeat that probably 3 times until it's bedtime. And it's good. It's doable. It's fun. But I have to, I have to clean up. I have to do dishes. I have to do laundry. I have to sleep. I have to brush my teeth. I have to eat. So it's like a pretty big day if I'm able to, like, wash my face in the morning. That's something that I used to just do every day and, like, took for granted. Now I'm like, oh, it's like 1 o'clock. I still haven't washed my face. I need to do that. Yeah, and I've just been sitting here talking for like 20 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, I need to wrap this up because I have like tons of stuff to do. But I just feel like it's really important to like try to connect with other women and men who have like young children and they're feeling like, oh my God, I'm drowning. I want someone to come and save me. I need my mom to come. I need so-and-so to come. And like someone else can come and help you, but like you have to find your own rhythm and fall into a routine that works for you, especially on your days off. On your days that you're working, you're gonna have just like different vibes or whatever for the different stuff that you're doing. If you're married and you are a stay-at-home mom, like I was doing for a while, it's super nice. You have your, like, you fully have your own rhythm. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this on this day. I'm going to take the kids to go do this. Like, it all just works. Um, but the hard part is if you're expecting your spouse to come home and relieve you, for 10 minutes to a couple hours, and they're spoiled, they're definitely not going to respond well to that, at least in my experience. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're asking me to watch my own kids after I've worked for 8 hours. Like, oh, just an 8-hour shift? God, that sounds nice. So, yeah, I'm not trying to put anybody on blast. My parents talked to me all the time when I was a kid about how hard being an adult was. And when I was a kid, I was like, you guys are just like exaggerating. It doesn't look that hard. It's fun. It looks like fun going to work. And it looks like fun staying home. How hard could it be? And you better be careful saying that. Because God's like, oh, do you want to find out? Because you're about to. So, yeah, when you put yourself last, it ends up hurting you a lot in the end, but you can't always put yourself first. So you kind of just have to, like, hover in the middle, my kids always come first. And the only times that they don't is when they do go to daycare. So then that means I get, like, 3 days a week to be able to do other activities. When you're a mom, those other activities usually involve, like, taking them to the dentist, going to the car wash, crap like that. Anyway, I'm trying out a lot of different stuff right now, different routines, trying to save money. I just started working again, and it has been very challenging to find a job that will work with my schedule, and come around to taking the girls to daycare and all of this different stuff. Like, it's just been very emotionally challenging for me. And the hard part of it, I guess, has been that my ex has just been telling everyone that I'm crazy. I'm like, bro, why don't you stay home all day, every day, for a year, taking care of your kids? You can only leave the house for 15 minutes, and then someone's calling you, freaking out at you, and see how you like it. That's been what I've been thinking about for a couple weeks now. I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be great if, like, we didn't let men work just for a year so that they understood, like, what it was like to be a woman, and just made them stay home and, like, do chores and pick up after everybody. They very quickly would be like, oh, work is awesome. I love work. I want to do work. Work is great. How much you want to pay me? Fine. Great. I'll show up. If there's air conditioning, cool. Do I get a break? Even one break? Okay, fine. Yep, no problem. I'm there. What time am I supposed to be there? Do you need me to stay later? No problem. I'll do it. Because women have had basically, like, no rights for most of civilization's history. And comparing working with women versus working with men, women work really hard. I so rarely have ever worked with a woman and seen her, like, tooling around on her phone or, like, just goofing off, like going to the bathroom a million times, like I see guys do. And then guys will just openly, like, just stand around and, like, look, like, play with their phones. I'm like, what, bro? If I'm on the phone, I'm, like, texting the father of my children about our kids or about something related to something going on with our kids. I'm not just, like, texting, like, one of my friends being like, do you want to go get pizza later? Yes or no? Hey, did you see what so-and-so said online? I'm just like, when you're 20, I guess that's, like, the type of conversations you have. I used to do shit like that too, but, like, doesn't make it like any less boring. You know what I'm saying? Do you follow? Anyway, I gotta go wash my face and like look at my face. I don't really like look at my face all that much. Yes. It's been a tough year. I have all this like green snot coming out. So anyway, hope everything goes well.